cash or credit series with a quick video today to talk a little bit about both and what they are. So people have asked the question, which is more important, cash or credit? And I've heard it said, I know other people have heard it said that cash is king, and I've also heard it said that credit is king. But I want to ask you, do you understand what they are? So the borrower is slave to the lender. That's a verse out of the Proverbs of Solomon in the Bible, right? So it says the borrower is slave to the lender because when you borrow money, you got to pay it back, right? But what is this? Really? What is this? Well, right here, it says, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. This is a Federal Reserve note, which means that this paper that the Treasury Department prints into circulation, this is an instrument of debt. So this is attached to some numbers that the Treasury Department has funded banks with, and then the banks are able to issue cash and credit based on those numbers. A lot of people don't understand, though, or don't know, that both this and what you think of as credit is debt. It's all debt. It's all credit. So this right here that you have in your hand, this is what you've been able to accumulate. You might call this my money. This is yours, right? All credit is the bank's confidence in them allowing you to use their money. That's all it is. So whether you get a loan or a credit card or a mortgage or a home equity or a business line of credit, when you get credit from a bank, all it is, or from any lender, is them saying, we trust your money, that you'll pay us back. We're going to give you some of this. It's ours. We're going to charge you interest to have it, and we trust that you'll pay it back. So let's start with that. This cash is an instrument of debt printed by the Treasury Department through the Federal Reserve to the banks, comes out of our ATMs or our bank tellers into our hands. But this is debt. This is debt the same way a loan is debt, the same way a mortgage is debt, the same way a line of credit is debt. So whether you know it or not, whether you agree with being in debt or not, when you are using this currency, you are using debt. So it doesn't matter what your religious beliefs or your philosophies or any of that kind of stuff. If you use this, or you use it on a debit card, or you use it on a credit card, or you send it through Cash App, you are using an instrument of debt. So now, since we've established that we all use debt, let's talk about the two different kinds of debt. There's good debt and there's bad debt. If I have $100 and I borrow $100 from the bank to invest in something else, or I borrow less than $100 from the bank to invest in something else that's gonna make money, that is the definition of good debt. That's called leverage. So that's leveraging the banks or the lenders' cash to make more money while holding my own cash. And the reason why that's called good debt is because I have my own cash. So if anything goes wrong, whatever reason, whatever investment I made with their money doesn't bring me money back so that I can pay them back and make a profit, at least I have the money to pay them back. That's good debt. So the rich, the wealthy, they use good debt. Most of the large businesses that you go to, all of the skyscrapers you see downtown in your city, most housing in the world, but especially in Canada and Mexico, is an instrument of debt. So it's an asset or an investment vehicle that holds debt. Well, for the rich and the wealthy, they use them to make money. The poor and the middle class don't always do that. So let's talk about bad debt. Bad debt is I don't have any of these and I borrow them from the bank and I use them for anything other than making money because I don't have any. That's bad debt because now I'm at risk. I'm at risk of being a slave to that lender because I have to pay them back, and am at risk because I don't have any of my own to pay them back. Most people who borrow, whether it's from credit cards or lines or loans, they borrow bad debt. And the banks and the lenders know that, and they're capitalizing on that. That's how they make their money. I used to be a banker. I used to work for one of the world's largest Fortune 50 companies, a retail banking leader globally, internationally. And I'm telling you, that's how they make their money. They make their money knowing that people are borrowing bad debt. They also make money on good debt because the rich and the wealthy, when they borrow, they pay the bank back so that they can borrow again. And they pay the bank back so that they can borrow again. So the bank or the lender is making money either way it goes. But it's important for you to know this is an instrument of debt. So cash is not king and credit is not king. Neither of them are king. They're both servants. They're both slaves. I highly recommend that if you're going to use debt, use it wisely. Use good debt. Do not use bad debt. Do not put yourself at risk by borrowing money that you don't have. That's what the middle class and the poor do. And that's how they get into trouble financially. If you have questions, comments, concerns, post them below. Subscribe to my channel. And there's going to be more videos in this series where I'm going to show you visually what good debt and bad debt looks like.